If you are one of the few that hasn't taken advantage of our November thank you special, what are you waiting for? Or perhaps you already signed up for your favorite handicappers and want to add another red hot service, then this deal is for you. Get all football plays for the rest of November through Monday, November 30th for only $119. That's right, get the rest of your favorite Cappers football plays in November for the price of a 7-day all-access package.
Teddy covers Lawrence Presman. Welcome to WagerTalk Today. Teddy, I love the blazer, man. You look good. Well, especially compared to that amazing flex picture of the man in the park with the hat. Big show. Rob Veno right at the top. Teddy, starting next week, I'm going to take a little bit better control of the games that these handicappers talk about. We let them send in what games they want to talk about. Rob thought it would be important for the listeners and viewers to learn about the Monday Night Football game instead of any game that is going on Sunday. So we're talking Monday Night Football, Mizzou, South Carolina, and the USC game. Matt Joseph on props, man. Probably top 2 favorite segment of the week with Matt Joseph. What do you got with your big game breakdown, brother?
Big game breakdown. We're going to talk a little Pac-12 football for tomorrow night TV action, your late night bailout special. We'll talk Washington State and Stanford a little bit later in the show. And, of course, Ralph Michaels, the pen, with his TNA Trends and Angles segment to close out the show.
Teddy, I'm really surprised you didn't pick a big game breakdown that was happening 3 weeks from now. Anyway, we're going to be awarding the $100 of wager bucks to the best Prez Flex picture. We'll do that a little later on in the show. But our lead story right off the top, Tulane, Tulsa, a bad beat for the ages and almost a historic bad beat. Talk to me, baby.
Sure. So the worst beat that I ever saw, game was totaled 9.5 in MLB, and it went nothing into the 14th. At the end of 14, it was 5-5, 7-5 final.
Yeah,
you got nothing.
It doesn't get worse than that.
Yeah, that's the worst beat I've ever seen. Last night's was not quite like this, although it had the overcast. It might have been, but we talk about all-timers. This might have been the worst beat of the season. Okay, Tulane closed +5. There were +6s out there. There were +6.5s out there earlier. They closed +5. Your 5-point underdog leads 14-0 into the fourth quarter. The opposing team, Tulsa, well, you already knocked out their first-string quarterback and their second-string quarterback. So you're up 14-0 in the fourth quarter, +5. Their opponent's now down to a third-string QB. The third-string QB, whose name you'll remember forever, Davis Brin, if you had a bet on Tulane plus the points last night. Never forget that name if you bet Tulane last night.
Tank for Brin.
Yeah, so, no, he's the third-string quarterback for Tulsa.
I'm kidding,
he's not good.
Teddy.
Yeah. So, all right, so the backup comes in, and he leads them on the marches down the field for a touchdown drive. 3 of 3 on third downs, including a third and long conversion. Okay. So then they get the ball back one more time. Clock's winding down. They hit a 4th and 13, impossible. They hit a 4th and 16.
It was
impossible.
A great throw, though. It was a great throw.
Yeah, the backup QB came in and played out of his mind.
Yeah, it
but
was
4th
amazing.
and 13 and 4th and 16 to tie the game. Again, it's just to tie the game. You're still covering. Then Tulane gets a 71-yard kick return. They score another touchdown. That's going to win the game. It's over. It's not. No, sirree. The third stringer goes 75 yards and a $130 to tie it on a Hail Mary with zeros on the clock. Okay. You're still covering going into overtime. All right. You covered the whole game. You're in OT. You're sweating, but you're covering. Now, with a dog of less than a touchdown in overtime, you want the ball first. What's that?
Yeah, and then you get a lucky kick, and you couldn't. Anyway, is this
You're
your bad
interrupting-
beat segment?
Sitting there battling.
Is this your bad
Okay.
beat segment?
Settle down. It's an all-timer. We're starting off with this, dude. All-timer.
While you're
overtime.
doing that, hopefully Rob's preparing an NFL game that actually is before Monday. Anyway, go ahead, Teddy.
You're all-timer. You want to keep interrupting me, Lawrence, so that it goes longer? All right.
Yes, Teddy, I do.
With a dog of less than a touchdown in overtime, you want the ball first. All right. Because that way you kick a field goal. All right. The other team scores a touchdown, you're still covering. You score a touchdown, you have no problem. If you don't score at all, the other team just goes for the field goal to win the game, oftentimes. So you want the ball first. Tulane didn't get the ball first, but they survived. Both teams kick a field goal. Okay. So now, in second OT, you get the ball first, which means you'll kick the field goal to only lose by 3, or the other team will kick it to win by 3. And then you get a 96-yard interception return touchdown. The only time of the game that Tulsa led by enough of a margin to cover. Ball game over. Sorry, that was brutal. That was absolutely brutal. That deserves its own segment at the top of the show. If you had Tulane Plus last night, my condolences. Again, all-timer, yeah, we throw it around, Prez, a little bit too much probably. That was a really bad beat.
You done? I mean, I'm surprised you didn't go through that play-by-play. Oh, wait, you did. Rob Veno!
Jesus.
Are you seriously
dear
going
Lord.
to send? Are you seriously going to send games in to talk about that? Like skip 14 other ones that are like more dated.
Prez. Listen, I apologize to Teddy, to the audience, to you, Prez, for being the guy to shove the blowtorch up your ass this morning. But I'm so well prepared. I didn't have to take notes while Teddy was talking. I've got notes on 15 other games. We'll talk Dallas, Minnesota, because I know that's making you smile right now. And I'm no one-trick pony. That's why you have me on this WagerTalk roster.
Wow, dude, that was as good an opening as Joe Ranieri. Any chance we could substitute Rob and Teddy on a regular basis, please? Rob Veno, dude, I called you yesterday, and I want to tell you, you didn't answer. You've actually stopped answering most of my calls. There was a time when my name would show up on your phone, and you would be like, shit, he's one of the owners of WagerTalk. I better answer. Now you're like, I'm making him so much money. I'm not even going to bother answering his damn phone. Anyway, let me tell you why I called you yesterday.
Sure.
I called you because I wanted to know what you liked in the NFL before I released my plays. I admit it. I have such NFL. It is ridiculous, dude. 39-24 this year. It's like I'm waiting for you to have a bad week. It just doesn't seem to happen. You are absolutely killing it in this sport. Congratulations right off the bat.
Thank you, sir. It's been good. It's been very good. I have not stopped answering your calls. Oh my goodness. I should have answered that call because I could have gotten some lessons on how to look as good as you at 50 in those flex poses. So that's my bad for not even taking that call.
Where's your flex picture, man? No fun.
No, maybe when
Dude,
I was
let's
20.
get into it. Let's go. Teddy freaking gave us, literally, if you missed the Tulane Tulsa game, just watch the beginning of this show. He didn't miss a play. Tampa Bay. No, you want to talk Dallas, Minnesota. Go ahead, talk. I won't even set it up.
Oh, go ahead. Lead me in, anybody.
No lead. Just go.
Let's talk about the Cowboys and the Vikings for this Sunday. We've seen money come in on on Dallas. The Vikings down to -7 at home. Certainly from a spot standpoint, it stands out as a tough one for the Vikings. But the markets are saying Andy Dalton is a trustworthy QB. Do you agree? Rob Veno, break it down for us.
Yeah, that's the crazy part of this, Teddy. The fact that the line comes down that much due to Andy Dalton. I mean, he and Garrett Gilbert may be somewhat interchangeable. Would have liked to have, been able to talk earlier in the week and get the early price. But I'm going to build the case for Dallas at +7 anyway. I don't think the quarterback really matters here. I'll take Andy Dalton, no problem. Minnesota, as you mentioned, situationally works against them. Short work week against a team off of a bye week, which is Dallas. Surprisingly enough, the Cowboys are still in that NFC East race. only a game and a half behind. And what's more important, all the teams in that division have 2 divisional losses. So the Cowboys are right there. Minnesota's playing their way back into the wild card, their 3-game winning streak. But let's go back to 2 weeks ago when Pittsburgh was a 14.5-point favorite over this Cowboys team, and Dallas came up with a huge effort in that game. Piece by piece, TC, they're starting to get some guys back. In that game, what was important was Zach Martin. All of a sudden, there was a little bit more quarterback protection against the number 1 quarterback sack team in the league. And Dallas winds up outgaining the Steelers, 364 to 355. They only allowed 2 sacks and 38 pass attempts. Ezekiel Elliott was a little bit banged up in that game, so they had some stuff going for them, some stuff going against them. Point here is Minnesota doesn't have the pass rush that the Steelers had. So with the off chance that Tyler Biadasz is able to come back and play center here this week, that would make Dallas's OL even stronger. Without him, I still like the Dallas offensive line matchup here. The Minnesota pass defense has been susceptible all season long, and the Cowboys do still have those 3 weapons at receiver. So I think that they can make some hay there. You're going to have to stop Dalvin Cook because that's the way Minnesota has chosen to go. Run Dalvin Cook and work off of that. I think that they can limit him but not shut him down. The Cowboys pass protection, as I mentioned, big important key here. Zeke back to health. Cowboys wide receivers against that secondary. To me, they could win this game, Teddy. These teams are almost mirror images of one another. I'll take 7 points.
See, the game against Pittsburgh wasn't Andy Dalton. That was Garrett Gilbert.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have Andy Dalton. The 2 games Andy Dalton started with Dallas, they scored 10 points against Arizona and 3 against Washington. If you go back to Cincinnati, his tenure in Cincinnati, it's not like the Bengals were covering point spreads with Dalton behind QB. What's your take on Andy Dalton right now? Okay backup, better than average backup, weak backup?
Well, I think with protection, better than average backup. He didn't have any protection in those previous games. Like I said, Zach Martin came back for Garrett Gilbert. And Garrett Gilbert, of course, looked very, very good. I think Dalton could probably produce the same results. As I mentioned, I think those 2 guys are interchangeable. If Dalton goes out due to injury here and Gilbert comes in, same thing. I don't think it disrupts anything, Teddy, because Dalton's taken all the snaps during this time frame since he's gotten over COVID and the injury. So I would say that they're fine with Dalton at quarterback here.
Rob Veno, everybody. Number 2 behind Gianni in NFL over at WagerTalk.com. But unlike Gianni, you don't need to play 18 plays in a day. Rob, let's move to college football. Mizzou, South Carolina. I know you like the over in this game. Tell us why.
Yeah, a couple of reasons, guys. And it really has to do mostly with, in simple form, the depletion of both defenses here. Now, Missouri, if this game gets played, guys, because Missouri's 1 injury away from not having enough players to play this game. They're at the limit right now with 53 scholarship players. The hardest hit positions on this team, defensive line and secondary. They couldn't meet the DL threshold. That's why they had to cancel the Georgia game or postpone it. They have offensive linemen converting over to the defensive side of the football right now. They have wide receivers practicing in the defensive backfield right now. All that bodes well for the South Carolina offense, which really needs a lot of help. Last week, they do a real good job against a bad Mississippi defense. I could see them putting up numbers, not exactly like they did against Ole Miss, but real good numbers offensively here, both yardage and scoreboard-wise. The South Carolina situation very quickly. Of course, we all know Will Muschamp gets fired. Mike Bobo steps in. As soon as the head coach was fired, Will Muschamp, both starting cornerbacks, CBs, opted out for the rest of the season. That leaves them down 3 starting secondary members who have now opted out. Their secondary right now, the 8 men that are going to be in this group, consist of 5 backups, 3 seldom-used freshmen as part of that group, a walk-on, a safety, a wide receiver return man, and a running back who's being converted over there. Mizzou should find some open holes in that secondary on Saturday. The linebacking core has to make a replacement at one of the spots using a brand new true freshman. The defensive line is undersized here because the rotation is so reduced due to injuries. And head coach Bobo said they're going to have to play a lot of plays. It's all we've got. So for Mizzou offensively, even though they haven't played in a couple of weeks, You would think Connor Bazelak and his wide receiving crew and Larry Browntree can make some hay against that defense. South Carolina is going to try and, avoid giving up big plays like they did to Ole Miss. But Mizzou can go down the field in different ways. I just think this number's short, guys. 57. The South Carolina defense has given up 48 points or more in their last 3 games and 7.2 yards per play.
So, Rob, this game's been on my short list all week, and I still haven't pulled the trigger on it. And here's why. I'm worried about 2 things for Missouri. One, the offense has gotten to 21 once in 5 games this year. And 2, they haven't played since Halloween. Are you worried about the state of the Missouri offense, given that this total, I understand we want to be betting against South Carolina's defense, but is Missouri's offense capable of putting up enough points to get this game up and over the total?
Yeah, and the one you mentioned, Teddy, where they did get over 21 was my favorite, Bo Pelini, coaching that defense. And they showed what they can do when they have their receiving core and a defense that just doesn't know what it's doing. And I think you have a similar case here this week. Now, the one good thing, TC, even though they haven't had a lot of game time, is the fact that Connor Bazelak said that these 3 weeks we've used to kind of get more used to the new offensive system. They've had a lot of practice time running plays with each other to get more used to the system. They think it's going to help out. I think that the holes in the South Carolina secondary will be, and the whole entire defense will be exposed here.
Rob Veno, everybody. Guys, one quick question, and then, Rob, I got a question for you. One of our listeners wants to know, what do you think about the change with Hill and Winston? Does that downgrade New Orleans or upgrade the Falcons?
Directed to me, that question?
Sure, Rob.
I didn't know if it was going to be Teddy's or not. But for me, guys, yeah, it does bring them down about 1.5 points in my power ratings. New Orleans has found ways to win without Drew Brees. Obviously, Teddy Bridgewater did a great job last year, and these 2 guys are capable quarterbacks. So I did make a bit of a downgrade power ratings-wise. It amounted to 1.5 points.
Oh, that's awesome. Nice. Listen, really quick, both of you, I need your help. Carmen and I are in the Circa Survivor Contest. It's getting down to the wire. We've been riddled with what to do. I was thinking Minnesota right up until Rob opened his damn mouth. We got it needs to be pretty much the Chargers or the Vikings. Teddy, you first. Any help for Carmen and I?
Everybody in the contest is going to be on the Chargers.
So then the Vikings.
So if you want to play, if you want to be with everyone, you take the Chargers. If you want to be without everyone, you'll take the Vikings. And it's just that simple.
Okay, how about telling me which one is going to win? Has the better percentage chance of winning?
So you're going to hijack the show on a Friday to have us give you your Circa play, right?
Yes.
It. Instead of breaking down another game with Rob
Keep going, Teddy.
You're going to hijack. On a day we're already behind.
Topic. I'm not dropping this topic until you give me an answer. So you can either continue to talk shit and hijack the show with your nonsense, or you could just say a name of a team.
Okay, Vikings. Rob, let's talk USC and Utah on.
And Rob, I'm expecting an answer from you too, dude. We're not letting the show go on without one.
Rob gave his answer. He thinks Dallas is live to win the game. Therefore, he would take the Chargers. I personally think Minnesota is liver to win the game. I would take the Vikings. Can I spell it out any clearer for you, Lawrence? Or would you like us to make little signs so that we can each hold it up and then go, one of us to go Vikings, one of us to go
I request,
Chargers, and then you can decide whose opinion you want to take.
I request signs.
Rob, break down the Trojans and the Utes, please. Utah, USC in Salt Lake City. What do we got?
Oh, my God. We got one more game.
All right. So real quick here, the way I'll go is USC minus what I think is a short number, Teddy, -3. For multiple reasons. Now, I know USC hasn't looked great, but it is their 3rd game. Utah has had the coronavirus issues, and now they're going to get on the field for the first time. Last I saw, they're expecting about 70 to 80% of their roster to be available unless something goes wrong today in coronavirus testing. The advantages that I see here real quick, USC offensively against the Utah defense that only returns 2 starters. And I know Kyle Whittingham's got this great tradition of producing hard-nosed, tough defenses that are tough to move the ball against, but they're not a reload situation at Utah. You know, this isn't an elite program against the country that just calls on the next 5-star to come in. So losing 9 starters, to me, a bit of a big deal, especially in a rebuilt secondary, totally rebuilt, against this air raid offense, which despite not looking good, guys, this offense is still averaging 527 yards a game, 353 through the air, 174 on the ground, pretty good balance. I think that getting through the first 2 games, now the third game, we might see that offense run a little smoother this time around. Is Keaton Slovis the quarterback for this team? I think you would worry about pressure against him, but the O-line's been good. 98 pass attempts, only 3 sacks against him. And these receivers, St. Brown, Vaughns, and London, they're tough to handle. So I like that matchup, USC's offense against the Utah defense. Let's go real quick here to the Utah quarterback situation, which looks like Drew Lisk, the redshirt senior. He was the guy listed to start the season on their depth chart against Arizona. It could be a combination of guys here, Cam Rising, Jake Bentley, transfer from South Carolina, but we're going to go with Lisk. Reason I bring it up is USC's defense has been hurt the first 2 games by very, very talented dual threat quarterbacks, right? You got Jaden Daniels at ASU and then Grant Gunnell at Arizona. Both of those guys are kind of a step above anything Utah's going to put on the field in their first career start against this team, at least in Jake Bentley's case, his first career start as Utah's quarterback. So I see an advantage there. For the Utah Utes, offensive line is a strength, but running back this year, since they lost Zach Moss, hey, head coach said that the 4 guys he's got, none of them have separated yet. You might see a committee here. So I don't even know that their running game is going to be that strong. I think USC can win this thing by 7 or more. To me, 3 just looked real short, so I'll play USC.
Rob Veno, you are so awesome. Johnny Detroit, a guy whose phone you do answer, he just logged in and said, Rob makes enough money not to do the show in the dark. Somebody buy him a light bulb. Rob, light bulbs are like 80 cents, I think. Put it on me, okay? on WagerTalk Today. We'll pay for your 80-cent light bulb. Dude, you are the best. Your NFL has been unbelievable. You're the #1 handicapper at WagerTalk for the year 2020. Teddy, why are you laughing? What the hell? You're bothering me like no other today.
Yeah, you're in quite the mood today. I'm laughing because Rob just got brighter. He found a light bulb.
So basically it's not that he didn't have a light bulb. It's that he didn't know to turn it on. Good.
But I touched my other computer screen and a bright light came on. That's what happened.
Rob, you are as good as it gets in breaking down games. Guys, make sure to play Rob Veno's NFL plays. They can play your college football plays too, but your NFL plays are right now like at a very high level. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. Oh, shut up, Teddy. Leave.
Dude, so
Rob,
far.
Will you do-
No. We're not going to take a quick break. You're throwing Rob's college football on the bus. Rob's killing it in college football. You're throwing Gianni's NFL. You're like, oh, you don't have to play 18 plays for Johnny's NFL. Johnny's NFL is killing it. Stop throwing the cappers under the bus, dude.
So you know that Rob is not killing it in college football. He's doing fine, but killing it, his NFL is at a absurd level. It's not his. Look, you got to relate it all together here. Rob could be doing really good in college football, but his NFL is at a world-class standard. Rob, please jump in, please. I just so badly don't want to talk to Teddy today.
I love you guys. I love just being here listening to this. This is my favorite. This week, this has been my favorite segment to be on. This is fantastic.
Anyway,
Prez,
get out of here. We're right back.
Mention my NBA, Prez. Mention my NBA, #1 at WagerTalk last year. NBA
oh, yeah,
coming.
dude, you were like, your NBA was absurd, but why? I mean, what are we going to do? Like, NBA doesn't start till December, and that's if. Rob, get the hell out of here. We're right back so Teddy can take us play-by-play through every bad beat ever. And then we'll have Matt Joseph, Ralph Michaels, and we are giving away the $100 in wager bucks on Prez Flex segment. Rob, namaste. We love you. Oh, well, You just flexed?
Just giving you what you want, Prez.
Yeah, next time do it on screen.
Founded in 1957, the Gold Sheet is the country's longest-running sports betting newsletter. Each week, the Gold Sheet team delivers analysis on NFL and college football games, along with NBA and college basketball matchups. Just for $15 a week, you get 6 key release selections, updated power ratings on every team, key betting angles for the week, and point spread logs for all NFL and college football teams. Get started now by going to goldsheet.com.
It is time for Bad Beats, Bad Bets, and Bad for the Books on a Football Friday here on WagerTalk Today. If you missed the top of the show, you already know. Tulane +5 last night is an all-timer bad beat. Go back, rewind, and check out the analysis, although Prez interrupted me multiple times at the top of the show. The only game worthy of note last night in the NFL, the early money came on Arizona. The late money came on Seattle. Seahawks win and cover. Not great for the house, but no disaster. A safety on a holding call being the most important point spread play of that ball game. But again, two-way action game. Two-way action on the total as well. The pros beat the Joes. Pros betting under, Joes betting over. But again, that wasn't a huge decision. So the NFL game pretty much a wash for the books. And of course, from a college football standpoint, Tulane Tulsa, that's one of those you won't forget for a long time if you bet it, whether you had the right side or the wrong one. There you have it. Bad beats, bad bets, bad for the books. Back to you, Lawrence. And the what the time to give out an award right now, huh?
So we ran a contest throughout the week after I put up a stupid picture of me working out. We asked you guys to send in pictures of you flexing with a hashtag @PrezFlex. We decided to give away $100 of wager bucks to the winner. We have restructured. Anybody who posted a pick will receive $25 in wager bucks, regardless of whether they won or they lost. I'll go down the list really quickly. I will put the list up in a second. But basically, it includes Kevin Walker, Ali, T. Rodriguez, Mark Mason, Scrappy Hustler. If you're listening, dude, you are a beast. Mike Noblin, you just make me sick, dude. Like, honestly, it's just not even fair what your physique looks like. Jay Wood, there's me. DJ Gaming, you are jacked. And Wake Me Up Fitness, I'm going to hire you as my bodyguard next time I'm around Teddy. Because somebody in the chat room said Teddy at -160 against me in a UFC fight. T. Rodriguez, you are the winner. And it's actually not you. It's your kid. Not only is he the cutest thing ever, but he's wearing his shirt backwards, which gets even more points. And on top of that, your biceps are pretty damn impressive. So you are the winner. Everybody, please email our customer service. What the hell is our email address, Joe? Oh, wait, we'll get there. I got to talk about this Marco pick, everyone. Marco didn't even realize that if he put the chicken wing in the arm that was flexing, he could have flexed while eating the chicken wing. Instead, the dude put it in the wrong hand. And Tony Maya in the middle there, that dude just looks scary, man. Like, honestly, Friday the 13th, scary with those eyes popping out of his head. As for Dave Sharapan, I don't see any muscle whatsoever. Teddy, as we've discussed, you look homeless. Guys, email our customer service. Email support@wagertalk.com. Missy will take care of you. Email Missy@wagertalk.com. Teddy, you would think I would know the email addresses to as one of the owners of this company. I'm totally baffled.
You would also think that instead of telling everyone out there to email customer service, because that'll be a lot of emails for them to answer.
Everyone email.
If we awarded you and you sent in the picture for your $25 wager bucks credit and your $100 wager bucks credit, just email in. Everyone else, if you have a question, email in. Otherwise, Missy may well be overwhelmed. There you have it. Thank you so much, all of you who sent in pictures. It was a really
fun.
cool little thing that just took off out of nothing, and we had a lot of fun with it. And congrats for the winners. I hope that you were able to take advantage of your Wager Bucks winnings with some rock solid selections this weekend.
Yeah, guys, email.
Let's
email
take a break.
Teddy, stop for a freaking second. You don't run this show. Now behave, for frick's sake. Anyway, guys, email Missy and also include your Twitter handle so that she can double check, because we know there's schmucks out there that are going to try to get some free wager bucks. Now we will also hit that like button, guys. 340 of you watching, 70 likes. Let's get it up, 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 up. And now we can take a break. Matt Joseph, next.
You're one of the few that hasn't taken advantage of our November Thank You Special. What are you waiting for? Or perhaps you're already signed up for your favorite handicappers and want to add another red hot service, then this deal is for you. Get all football plays for the rest of November through Monday, November 30th for only $119. That's right, get the rest of your favorite Cappers football plays in November for the price of a 7-day all-access package.
Teddy, also, Johnny just said, email your username as well so that Missy can do this quick, fast, and get it all set up for you. Teddy, I'm honestly done with you today, dude. Let's just bring Matt in so I don't need to hear your shit. Matt Joseph, thank God. Nice to see you, my friend. You are absolutely killing it in everything. A different level. Your college football, 59% on the year. Your NFL, doing well as well. We got a promotion for you, Matt. Tweet it out to everybody, please. It's Matt30. That's M-A-T-T. Yes, there is a redundant T. Matt, M-A-T-T 30. All your college football for 1 month, $99. It's regularly priced $169. Guys, head over to sportsmemo.com. Use the promo code MATT30. Matt, let's get straight into it. Teddy has been yapping all show. He gave us a play-by-play. Literally caused the show to run 35 minutes long. Alex Smith, Washington QB, your favorite. You got him as player of the year. You got a prop for us on him. Let's get right into it.
Yes, the comeback player of the year there. And this is one of those props that people probably wouldn't look at, because when you see a quarterback, he's got completions and he's got attempts, he's got passing touchdowns, he's got yardage and all this stuff. Well, I'm looking at his rushing yards, under 5.5. And the important thing here is, as we've always talked about with the props, shop around. You could get a yard and it could make a difference in this thing. Last week he ran for, he had 2 rushes for 4 yards. He had a 5-yard rush and then a -1. But I just don't think he's going to do it very much. He's a banged up quarterback. And with the injuries, he's only got 5 rushing yards for the season. In 9 weeks against the Bengals, only Tyrod Taylor, Carson Wentz, Gardner Minshew, and Ryan Tannehill have gone over this number. Plus, if you think that the Washington football team's going to win, he may take those kneel downs, and that's crucial -1 yards towards the end. So Alex Smith under 5.5 rushing yards is something I'm looking at for this week.
So last week, Justin Herbert had his worst game as an NFL starter. You expect the occasional struggle from a rookie QB. Oftentimes you expect more than occasional struggle from a rookie QB, but no Charger receiver even had 40 receiving yards, and Herbert was like close to 100 yards worse than his previous worst effort as an NFL starter. What's your take on Herbert this week in a theoretical bounce back spot against the New York Football Jets?
Oh yeah, it's a huge bounce back time. Now, so here's the caveat here: it's 1.5 passing touchdowns everywhere, but the juice is ridiculous, and eventually the books are going to flip it over to 2. I still like it at 2. I'm not paying the -200s, -180s for the 1.5, so I'll just wait till they flip it to 2. 5 of the 9 quarterbacks that face the Jets have had 2+ touchdowns this season. 6 straight weeks of 2+ passing touchdowns for Herbert this season. This is the cornerback group for the Jets right now. Lamar Jackson. Yeah, there's a Lamar Jackson that plays corner for the Jets. Bennett Jackson, Bless Austin, Bryce Hall, and Javelin Guidry. These are names that Madden created when you create usernames. That's the Jets cornerbacks right now. I think Justin Herbert blows up this week. I think we could see 3 touchdowns or more potentially from Herbert, but we'll take the over for 2 against the Jets on Sunday.
Matt, let's keep this show moving. I just want to let everybody know, Teddy and I have this little messenger thing where we talk to each other during the show so we don't interrupt each other. The guy is literally starting with me in the messenger. I'm like, you go, then I go, then you go. And he's like, it's not like we've never done this before, Prez. You're acting like we don't know what we're doing. Dude, you are so ordinary today. Oh, my God. Don't say a word. Don't say a word. Jacoby Myers, Matt. Let's go.
I mean, Cam Newton loves the guy. Over 4.5 receptions against the Houston Texans, a team that's not very good in the secondary. The last 3 weeks, Myers has had 31 targets, turning into 23 receptions. 11 wide receivers have had 5+ receptions against Houston this year. Cam Newton loves the guy, and so will I. Over 4.5 receptions against the Texans for Jacoby Myers.
So one of the props that I always love, I used to love this with the Ravens, when I'm taking the over for the longest field goal in the game, and Tucker would hit a 50-yarder just week after week after week, and you'd catch that prop. It's not out yet, but is there a game this week where you're looking at the over for longest field goal in the game? Perhaps something in some mile-high air?
Yes, that's for sure. It's the Miami-Denver game, and I'm going to expect it could be 45, 46, maybe even 47, not an issue. When you look at this Miami kicker, Jason Sanders, he's 12 of 13 from 40-plus yards. He's hit a 56-yarder so far this year. Brandon McManus is a beast as well, 13 of 14 from 40-plus yards. His long is 56. He's got a couple 52s in there as well. The Broncos are allowing an average of 2.4 field goals per game. You should have plenty of opportunities with these two offenses. So something in the 46, 47 range, I think over there, we could see several 50-yarders in Denver. And as you said, there's always an advantage there when it comes to the rarefied air of Mile High.
Matt, 3-1 in your NFL team total props that you've been giving out on WagerTalk today. What do you got for us this week?
Well, much like, I'm talking about the Monday night game, and I'm looking at the Rams over half a point in the first quarter. This line doesn't make a lot of sense to me. When you give Sean McVay a chance to script up a bunch of plays in that first drive, I trust the guy. Tampa Bay allows an average of 6.6 points on average in the first quarter, so they're not very good when you start. The last 5 weeks, they gave 14 to Carolina, 14 to the Saints, 7 to the Giants, 7 to the Raiders, 10 to the Packers. I trust Sean McVay here. I think the Rams can get at least a field goal, heck, a safety, whatever. It doesn't matter. I think the Rams score in this first quarter, and we get an easy winner here on over half a point in the first quarter for the Los Angeles Rams.
And there's one more game to talk about with Matt Josephs, mid-major Matt, over at sportsmemo.com. And this is one I did an Every Game on the Board podcast yesterday in college football with Drew Martin. I did my part of the Every Game on the Board podcast. And we talked about this game, Florida and Vanderbilt. And I'm like, well, Florida's going to get theirs. If Vandy's going to score, this game's going to go over the total. You say, don't worry about Vandy scoring. Florida is going to get theirs. And, of course, 4-1 with the college team totals on the show, your first to last 5 weeks. Nice job with this report, Matt. What do we think about Florida and their team total against Vanderbilt?
Yeah, Florida over 48.5 is where I'm looking here. And that's obviously it's an easy math, 7 touchdowns. And this Gators offense coming off scoring 63 last week. And you've got the Kyle Trask Heisman campaign. Look, we are in the point of the season where teams are going to hype up their guys for the Heisman. Trask is in the mix. Zach Wilson in BYU. Trevor Lawrence, I think, is going to do a ton for Clemson this week. But Kyle Trask should be busy. I know Pitts is out. I'd like him to play. Florida has scored 40 or more in 3 straight and 4 of their 6 games overall. Vanderbilt gave up 41 to LSU at home, 41 to South Carolina at home, 54 to Ole Miss. Last year, Florida won this game 56-0 at home. Poor Vanderbilt. They're always getting beat up on. But, Teddy, I think this is a 49-plus game for Florida. You could even look at the 27.5 in the first half, but I'll take the full 4 quarters and go over 48.5 team points for the Florida Gators.
Matt, I want to send that segment out to all the guests that come on Wager Talk today. That was tight, concise, informative, and Teddy didn't speak much. That's about as perfect a segment as we could have. Everyone, make sure to head over to sportsmemo.com Use the promo code MATT30. Get the next month of his college football for only $99. Matt, it was a privilege to listen to you. Thank you, brother. Guys, hit that like button, please. 400 of you watching, 92 likes. I feel a little slighted by the 308 of you that won't hit the like button. Matt, thanks again. We're right back with Teddy's big game breakdown, or however he says it, and the pen.
If you are one of the few that hasn't taken advantage of our November Thank You Special, what are you waiting for? Or perhaps you already signed up for your favorite handicappers and want to add another red hot service, then this deal is for you. Get all football plays for the rest of November through Monday, November 30th for only $119. That's right, get the rest of your favorite Cappers football plays in November for the price of a 7-day all-access package.
Big game breakdown. Let's talk Saturday night college football. Washington State and Stanford. We've seen a big line move in this game since last night when Washington State starting quarterback Jaden DeLora was confirmed positive in COVID. He is going to be out this week. So we've seen the money pour in on Stanford. Stanford goes from short favorite now. They're 3.5. Lots of fours out there for the Cardinal. There's a problem, though, with all this money coming on Stanford, and the problem is simple. One, Wazoo owns Stanford. They won every meeting since 2014. Two, Stanford isn't any good. All right? It was like, oh, the QB's out for Washington State, therefore knee-jerk. Stanford money. When we think about Stanford football, we think about dominating defenses. Well, let's see. Stanford has 1 sack in 2 games. They've given up, 120th in FBS, 9.6 yards per pass attempt, and they've gotten gashed on the ground, giving up 7 rushing touchdowns and 5.3 yards per carry. So whatever Stanford's supposed to be on defense, the rumor, the reputation, isn't real. They're not an elite defensive team so far this season. And boy, we've seen David Shaw on display as Stanford's gone 0-2 to open the season. First half action against Oregon and Colorado. Stanford, 5 field goal attempts, only 1 touchdown. And that's the way Shaw plays. He still thinks he has a good defense he can rely on, so he keeps kicking field goals. Nuh-uh. I understand Wazoo doesn't have their starting QB. I like Nick Rolovich. I like the fact that this squad is coming off a well-played non-covering loss last week where the final score did not reflect how well Wazoo played in that game on both sides of the football. I think they win this game. 3.5 is a gift. 4 is a gift. We'll take the points here with Washington State on Saturday night. That's your late night bailout special. Back to you, Prez. Let's go to Ralph Michaels.
Back to me, Prez. Let's go to Ralph Michaels. Teddy is on fire today, everybody. Great big game breakdown. I actually love how you say it, Teddy. The way you roll your R's, exquisite. Speaking of exquisite, Ralph Michaels, it was his birthday yesterday. I didn't know, but I did give him a big shout out on Twitter. I called him after the show. Ralph, there is very few I love more than you. And all of those people are either related to me or put their hands down my pants. So you are right up there, bro.
I appreciate that. And on that note, Prez, I want to tell all our viewers, if you're thinking, man, getting mid-major Matt for $99 for college football is a good deal. Guys, Johnny and I just finished our Black Friday promo. It's starting today, but we'll be talking about it all next week. BF 999. You are getting 12 months of all access, any capper you want, for $83 a month or $19.21 a week. One play at WagerTalk is $25. You can get any capper, all access, $19.21 a week. You're getting 12 months, $999. You're saving $1,000. You can use the coupon code now, BF999. That's valid all this week. It'll be expiring Black Friday. But man, guys, we've never had a special like that.
Yeah, Ralph, that is amazing, dude. I just wanted to show off the Wager Talk Today shirt. That is amazing. Guys, make sure to take advantage of that. And Ralph, is that at Sports Memo and Wager Talk?
It is. It's at both sites, guys. And there's no limit. If you want one or two guys, basically you're buying a service, getting a service free if you buy two. But you know what? This is like the old days. Black Friday sales used to mean something. It was a once-a-year sale, the lowest price you can ever find. Go out and treat yourself, guys, because you break it down, $19.21 a week, and you can have your every play, every sport for your favorite capper for 365 days.
Ralph, let's get into it, dude. You got a lot of stuff for us. Yeah, we still have
it's not a lot of stuff, but it's making people aware. We talk about something that people don't talk about, and it's turnovers. And you may have the best game handicapped, but if your team all of a sudden starts turning the ball over, these are just numbers I wanted you to be aware of. If you finish an NFL game -1 turnover, so you could have had 2 turnovers and you got 1, you could have had 3 and you got 2, so you finished -1 at the end of the day. Teams that finished -1, I went back to 2015, cover 33% of the time. Teams that finish -2 turnovers cover 21% of the time. Teams that are -3 turnovers only cover under 10% of the time. And if you happen to be -4 turnovers or more, you cover 5% of the time. So does that help you? Is there anything we could take out of that? Well, there is. There are teams that cause turnovers. There are teams that turn the ball over more. Start adding that to your handicapping when you're looking at teams. I have a list. It was a big list. I don't know if Joe could fit it in on the board, but those are the last 4 years, guys. Look at the top teams. You go through the top 13 teams, and what do you see? There's no Reds except Pittsburgh 1 year. Those teams that don't turn the ball over and force turnovers, is it any surprise? Kansas City, New Orleans, Seattle, New England, Baltimore, Indy, the Rams. Those are quality teams, the teams that you need to look at the back. So no actionable information now, but just so people realize there are times you have a bad beat if your team normally doesn't turn the ball over and they do. There's times you benefit because of turnovers, but there are certainly spots in the NFL where you can find quality teams that force turnovers against teams that turn the ball over very often.
See, Ralph, let me jump in because you said that's not actionable info, and I think it's extremely actionable info because one of the first things that I do when I'm trying to handicap any game is it's not going to be accurate 100% of the time, but you try to predict who has the edge when it comes to more likely to turn the ball over. Is one team likely to take a lead and the other team's got to chuck the ball from behind? Does one defense force turnovers, the other team not so much? Does one offense have a veteran quarterback and the other offense is a young QB who makes mistakes? If you can handicap the turnover battle before the game starts, it'll go a long way towards getting you on the right side of some of these ATS decisions.
Agree, Teddy. And you know what? In the breakdown, you probably need to go into the NFL and just sort teams that turn the ball over a lot in giveaways and takeaways. The second thing is not an ATS angle either, and it's a straight-up angle. Well, why would I bring a straight-up angle into play here for the angle of the day? Well, let me explain why. Since October 2018, the Cincinnati Bengals are 0-16-1 straight up on the road. So what does that mean? Well, Prez, we've talked about it on Presidential Address. I have a bad team. Now, since he's getting better, but I have a bad team that hasn't won on the road. There is no way I am going to bet that team as a road favorite or a road pick'em until a bad team learns to win on the road. You have to learn to win on the road before you learn how to cover on the road as a pick'em or as an away favorite, which is in their situation tonight. So despite me liking Cincinnati this week, this will actually keep me off betting the Bengals until they prove to me they can win away from home.
Ralph, do you see Go ahead, Teddy.
No, Lawrence, all you.
Well, I was slightly changing topics. There was a stat in the Seattle game last night going into the second half that was unbelievable. 60-1 in their last 61 games, leading by 4 or more. Seattle 60-1. Did you guys see that? It's just an amazing statistic. Now you can go, Teddy.
Okay.
Cincinnati winless teams on the road.
Yeah, exactly. So, and when you're talking about a point spread in this range, obviously, we're Washington -1, -1.5. Even though the angle is a straight up angle, in this point spread range, the straight up angle is the ATS angle. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Why A, Washington is favored, and B, why, since he was on my short list on Monday, it got crossed off pretty quick as the week progressed.
Yeah. You and I talked about Cincy, Teddy. We both of us liked it initially. What do you got?
I'm going to throw in one more, Prez, just because someone asked me on Twitter, guys. And if there's a situation you want looked up on Twitter, just follow me at CalSportsLV. Just shoot out, tag me on it, and I will look it up and respond to you. Someone asked me today, in a division game when you're playing the same season, what happens when if the first game goes over the total? I looked it up, and without any parameters, the second division game of the season, if the first game gone over, went under 59.8% of the time, like the Seattle-Arizona game did last night. So just food for thought, one more as we get into the second division games of the season. And Prez, I'm turning it over to you. Friends of Ralph play. Prez, did you come up with a play that you are actually selling at WagerTalk that you are giving out today for the Friends of Ralph segment?
100%. It's a 4% play. It's actually one of my favorite plays on the board, Ralph. But you're the one that's going to give it out. It's your segment. And with that said, pretty much every play you pick to give out as a Friends of Ralph segment wins. So I would like to do this on a regular basis because I bet these plays. So I hand it back to you. This is a 4% play that I am releasing to my clients. What, Ralph, is the play?
And Prez is going with Philadelphia and Cleveland under 47.5 to finish off this weekend. We're getting Prez to actually give you some. I'm tired of Prez saying, I'm in action. I'm in action. Well, you got to start giving our viewers some of that action before the game, not after the game. We're starting right here, right now. Ralph's Friends of the Day segment from the Prez, Philadelphia and Cleveland under 47.5, and BF 999 Black Friday, $1,000 off a 12-month all-access package.
Teddy, man, how great is this show becoming? I mean, Rob Veno freaking killed it today. Matt Joseph, concise, precise, on point. Ralph Michaels, a god in this industry. And then you and I just fighting with each other from start to end. An informative, exciting show. Ralph, thanks for being here. Guys, check out Matt for a month. MATT30 is college football. Teddy, a sincere happy birthday to you. I hope today is incredible. I hope Kara takes care of you. Congratulations to T. Rodriguez and his cute little kid. Teddy, take us home.
Sure. I thought it was a great show, Prez, except for the part where you talked. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to hang out with us on WagerTalk Today. Good luck this weekend. Enjoy the games. We'll be back again on Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, right here on WagerTalk Today.
With the WagerTalk one-day Power Pass, you receive every play from every betting consultant for one full day at the ridiculously discounted price of just $149. What's better than spending the day watching and following a great game, watching, following, and winning that game? Get your sportsbook edge with the entire WagerTalk team of handicappers with this one-day Power Pass, every WagerTalk expert in every game they release for that day. Your WagerTalk one-day Power Pass is right here, and it's yours for just $149, available now at WagerTalk.com.